Of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious.
Barack Obama's legacy was built on speeches polished to perfection. But Tulsi Gabbard cuts straight through that gloss. She exposes the contradictions, hypocrisies, and empty promises that propped up his presidency. What once seemed like transformation now looks like nothing more than a slick sales pitch. And Tulsi doesn't hold back no half measures. No hesitation, just a precise dismantling of the myth that Obama was anything beyond a smooth-talking politician selling hope on borrowed time.
Give me your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically.
Tulsi Gabbard doesn't just criticize Barack Obama, she dismantles him with the blunt force of a surgeon wielding a sledgehammer. This isn't civil debate, it's an unmasking. The once charismatic figure who glided on charm now looks like a stage magician caught in the actmir's shattered wires. Exposed, tricks falling flat. Tulsi refuses to pull punches, tearing through the polish to expose the hollow slogans, contradictions, and legacy moves that were little more than branding, dressed up as statesmanship.
With the integrity of our democratic republic, what we saw occur here, as the documents we released detailed, was that we had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president commander-in-chief of the United States. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters.
The image of Obama as a smooth-talking savior collapses under Tulsi Gabbard's dismantling. She rips apart the illusion of hope and change, exposing him as a politician like any other, only far more gifted at selling the myth that he stood above the swamp while sinking deep into it. His greatest talent was never leadership, but salesmanship. And Tulsi calls it out with ruthless precision, portraying him as the ultimate political marketer, hawking a product that had already expired long before the public was ready to face it.
Convenient truth. The President's Daily Brief article was pulled. It has never been published until we released it about a week and a half ago. Instead, this new intelligence assessment was ordered by President Obama that contradicted directly every other intelligence assessment that had been published prior to the election, as well as assessments that had been pushed forward after the election.
Tulsi Gabbard zeroes in on Obama's foreign policy with sniper-like precision, dragging into the light the endless wars, drone strikes, and a Nobel Peace Prize that spoiled faster than milk in the sun. The man who sold himself as the antidote to George W. Bush ended up authoring chapters of foreign policy that made Bush's blunders look like warm-ups. Tulsi doesn't let him hide behind excuses about inherited messes. She makes it clear he didn't just inherit them, he expanded them, escalated them, and normalized them, all while smiling through press conferences, as if charisma could wash away the civilian casualties stacking up behind the curtain.
Full attack on the American people who deserve the truth. They deserve to have faith and trust in the integrity of our democratic republic, which has been undermined by President Obama through his direction of this manufactured fake intelligence document, knowing that it was filled with lies.
Like when she got into office, you realize you're not really in control of everything, because there's another person who's in control of each.
Tulsi rips into Obama's domestic legacy as little more than branding without backbone. Obamacare, once hailed as a healthcare revolution, is unmasked as a messy compromise that served insurance companies better than patients. She hammers him for touting bold reform while leaving millions stuck in a broken system. hope and change. Tulsi reframes it as hold and charge. Hold your breath while they charge your premiums.
Any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former
The
President
evidence,
Obama?
correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacture.
Obama's economic record shatters the polished tale that he saved the country from collapse. Saved who? Tulsi asks. Wall Street, the banks, the corporations, the very gamblers who wrecked the economy in 2008 walked away with bailouts. While ordinary Americans got lectures about responsibility. Far from being a champion of the people, Obama was the elites. Insurance policy. And Tulsi lays it out like a crime scene report. The working class wasn't rescued. They were left holding the bill. He spoke of transparency, yet spied on journalists, preached equality while cozying up to Silicon Valley oligarchs, and promised unity only to leave behind a nation angrier, poorer, and more divided than when he arrived.
The issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week and the documents that we will be releasing later this week that point to the undeniable fact. The intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that polled president's daily brief document that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council, and President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence.
The power of Tulsi's show lies in her calm dismantling of Obama's hypocrisy. He campaigned against endless wars while bombing 7 countries, promised unity yet stoked division when it served him, and spoke for the middle class while ensuring the donor class always had a seat at the table. Tulsi holds up a mirror. The reflection isn't a golden symbol of hope, but a reminder of how easily America bought into a polished salesman. She even torches his post-presidency gloat the speeches, the Netflix deals, the carefully staged image of a wise elder statesman. To Tulsi, Obama didn't step back with dignity. He cashed in, turning the presidency into a brand empire and monetizing the office meant for service. It's hard to preach selflessness while pocketing 6-figure corporate checks, and Tulsi makes sure no one can pretend otherwise.